I'm gonna just say it. Budgeting sucks. What's up, followers? Today I am going to break down scientifically why budgeting sucks and why you should do this method instead. So, budgeting is a concept that's been around forever, and like I said, the old way of doing things, too slow. Budgeting is extremely restrictive and it separates all our money. Now, budgeting definitely sucks if you're a low income earner. If you're a high income earner, doesn't really matter because you're making so much money that the restrictions doesn't even care at that point. But let's say, for instance, I like to use this example. You're bringing home $2,000 a month, right? And then you find out that budgeting is what you should be doing. So you look up budgeting and you see the 50-30-20 budget and you see the JARS method and you're like, ooh, these things give me structure and organization, and it lists everything out, and I can open up separate bank accounts and put all my money in these things, right? And then so you decide to do it. You open up a bank account with 5 different savings accounts, and then you realize that you're only making $2,000 a month, right? So 10% of that is 200, right? So 200 goes to charity. We put 200 in here. Play, so we can do whatever we want with that. Then we got wealth and savings, right? 200 in here. I can invest this right in the stock market, and eventually, like after 5 or 7 years, I'll have enough money to invest in real estate. Wow, things are looking really good until you get to here, right? Lifestyle, which they require you to have 50% of your income in lifestyle, right? It's only $1,000. So, right, all this money's getting separated out away from you, and then they expect you to live on $1,000. I don't know about you, but I can't even find a place to rent for $1,000, right? So this is just rent, and you don't even have enough for that. So you literally cannot live a life using a budgeting method, the JARS, or even this one, properly. So they're like, oh, you know what? You can adjust the numbers a bit, right? Let's say you need 80, and then you put like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then you build your way up, right? But what's the point of having all these accounts, right? There's no purpose. There's really no purpose behind these accounts other than the fact that you're just saving money in there to save and eventually use it on these things. That is why I prefer a spending plan. So I don't budget per se. I create a spending plan based off of the amount of money that I make following this specific formula. So my formula is very easy. I take my income, I minus 250, and the reason why I use 250 is that's the minimum to do velocity banking, right? 250 is always that number, and you can increase it if you want to. If you're a high earner, you can definitely increase that amount, but this is the bare minimum. And then that gives you your CAA, and I like to call this an acronym. It means capital allocation amount, and that's how much capital we have to allocate to our spending plan. Now, you can just create your spending plan, or if you want to invest in yourself, let's say you found a mentor or a coach online and you want to invest in yourself to improve a skill set, you can then use this second step, which is taking your capital allocation amount, multiplying it by 0.8, and then you get your MLA, which stands for maximum lifestyle allocation, which will go to your spending plan. So essentially, a spending plan is like a budget, but it's not restrictive, and it has some principles that we have to follow. So the principles are: you pay a premium for things you value, right? So if you value your health, you'll spend a lot more money on groceries, on a gym membership, and things of that nature. If you value paying off debt, let's say for interest, you just want to pay off debt, you want to get rid of that, you can take all your excess cash and put it towards paying off debt. So our spending plan is not based off of some arbitrary system like this. It's based off of our values and things that we things that we want to accomplish as a goal. So that's why I like this, because it's tailored. Every month is a different spending plan. No spending plan is the same, right? So we pay a premium for things we value. And then the next thing that we have to learn is that it's okay to go into the red if you can justify the ROI. Now, I know things happen, things come up. Let's say your car breaks down or you need a new bed, or things happen, right? If you budget, you're saving for emergency, right? But let's say that you don't have enough money in that emergency account to cover a transmission going out or anything of that nature, right? With us, again, remember, we're doing velocity banking. So we have a personal line of credit of $10,000. We can simply just borrow from this, go into the red for a little bit of time, and do velocity banking to pay that off. Right? So we're in a better position because we don't have to wait until we have $10,000 in our savings account. We have access to $10,000 with velocity banking, which is why I love this philosophy, because everything ties in together and we're never stuck. We never feel that pressure of being squeezed when it comes to money. And the last thing is we optimize expenses. Now, we're not going crazy. That's why I understand why budgeting works, is because it prevents people from going crazy and spending more than they should, right? But instead, if we focus on optimizing our expenses, which means things that we don't value, like car insurance, right? We can optimize this to where we're paying lower amounts for car insurance, right? We're not paying premiums for toilet paper or toiletries. We're getting the optimized expense costs so we can lower expenses on things that we don't value as much, and we can pay more for things we do value. And if emergencies pop up, we're okay going into the red. We just borrow against our line of credit, and then we do velocity banking to pay it off as quickly as possible. And remember, we're still investing in ourselves, right? We're improving our skill sets. We're improving our health by investing in ourselves. We're improving our mindset. And we're still able to spend money on the things that we want and things that we enjoy, instead of being restrictive and only being able to spend $1,000 on your lifestyle, which is ridiculous. None of this makes sense if you're making $15 to $25 an hour. This, just forget about it. You don't even need to save money until we get to a certain amount of income. And I would say you would be okay starting a budget if, right, we get to 10,000 plus no debt. Right? If you get to $10,000 a month plus no debt, then feel free to do this, because 50% of this, right, 5,000, and you can definitely live an amazing lifestyle, $5,000 a month. So that's why I have strict rules. If you're making this amount, follow this, and until you get to 10,000 and no debt, then, you know, this is what we're going to stick with. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and might be a controversial video because a lot of people follow these budgeting methods, and I'm like, no, I'd rather do this. It allows me more flexibility. So that's all I got for you guys today, and I will talk to you guys soon and see you in the next video.